Welcome to Sit Down and Heal with Coach Derek. My name is Coach Derek, and I am your certified relationship coach. And now I am your certified healing journey coach. So we talk about healing here. I know some of y'all don't want to hear about it, but you need to. So every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I go live and we talk about topics that are healing based, but they also relate to how you show up in your single life, dating, relationships, and marriages. So they go hand in hand because healing should be a part of your growth no matter what your relationship status is. So, this week, this is a topic that I covered a long time ago, but y'all don't be listening to me, so I'm going to do it again because it's powerful, and we're going to step through this thing step by step so that you guys can understand what I'm talking about when I say your mind is playing tricks on you. I tried not to be too technical with you guys because I want to make sure I catch as many minds as possible, but we got to define some terms, and then we're going to talk through this thing. So if you are new to me, to this platform, put a 1 in the comments. I know it's probably not. Hold on 1 second. I got to bring up. Okay. If you're new, put a 1 in the comments. If not, just sit back and relax. We're going to do this. Y'all going to learn something today. Normally, through my coaching business, I have a system in a library of workshops that you can get to help you parse through your healing journey, your single and dating journey, and even in relationships. And so tonight and every Tuesday is going to be almost kind of like an appetizer. So you kind of know the flow of how the workshops work. So you're going to get a lot of value, but this is not the coaching. Okay. So welcome in, Ocean Breeze. So tonight, when I say your mind is playing tricks on you, we're going to talk about a term that you can Google called cognitive distortions. So these are the things that your mind will tell you, but they don't necessarily have a basis in fact. But because we've been through so much trauma, we make it true in our mind. When we make it true in our mind, it informs how we behave, how we treat people, how we react when we're triggered, because our mind believes that it's true. So we're going to dive deep, and then we're going to come out of it because this ain't the coaching. So I'll read the definition of cognitive distortions, but I wanted to give you the layman's version. Cognitive distortions are irrational thoughts that shape how you see the world, how you feel, and how you act. It's normal to have these thoughts occasionally, but they can be harmful when they're frequent or extreme. So we're going to go down the list, y'all. So stay tuned. Make sure you share this live with your friends, your family, your grandma, whoever need to hear this, because they're going to need to hear this. Now, what I am doing, the first show from this series of Sit Down and Heal was last week. I still need to put that replay on YouTube, and then tonight's replay will also be put on YouTube. So both of them going to go up either tonight or by tomorrow morning. So you will get the replay on YouTube. So just follow my lead, stay on my page, and I'll put something out there to let you guys know that it's there. So let's go down this list. Sit back, take notes if you have to. This is going to be good. So again, if you just came in, my name is Coach Derek, and I am your certified relationship and healing journey coach. And we're going to get busy right now. So the first term is called magnification and minimization. This means that you're exaggerating or minimizing the importance of an event. You might believe your own achievements are unimportant, or that your mistakes are excessively important. So sometimes people do things like catastrophize certain things, like seeing only the worst possible outcomes of a situation. So let's pin this real quick. When a lot of you, especially the single yous, you catastrophize the whole dating pool around the whole world, and you say it's all evil, every human being on the planet, and you believe this because you had a few bad experiences, or maybe your friends had a few bad experiences, and that number is too small to paint around the whole planet or even your city, right? But we do it because of traumas that we have gone through, or bad relationships, or whatever it is. We then paint and color our view of the world and we catastrophize it and we believe that it's true because there's nobody there to tell us that it's not. So some of y'all been sitting at home for 5 years and y'all like, it's impossible for me to find a human being that's not going to destroy me. So even though that may be true, it can't be true for every human being on the planet, right? So when we magnify a situation way above any kind of evidence that is true, that's a you problem. Breathe. It's a you problem now. Can't be true. Impossible. But our mind is playing tricks on us. Eventually, if you think about it too much and you believe it too much, it becomes so much of a fact that people can't even convince you that it's not true. And people like this I talk to every week. It's impossible for me to convince them that there is people out here that might be just like you, that might be decent human beings. They just cannot believe it because of their lived experience, right? And a lot of times our lived experience, again, becomes our worldview. And it's just our one tiny experience in a world of people and experiences, not just your city or your state or your country, but in your mind, you believe it's everyone. So you might need to sit down and heal, because if you need help, I got you. But we gotta step back, sit down, think about it. Can everybody on the planet be, I'm the only good person on the planet? Could that really be true? Or is it me? Right? So now we're going to move to the next term. Overgeneralization. I'm saying it slow for a reason. I used to be extremely technical because I'm an engineer when I deliver information. But you don't catch a lot of people with technical terms. So I'm giving you definitions and then I'm giving you lived experience to companion it so that it's understandable to most people, okay? So when I talk slow, it's not because I talk slow. It's because I want everybody to get it. And I'm emphasizing certain words on purpose, okay? Overgeneralization, making broad interpretations from a single or few events. So this is kind of a companion to what I just said, right? Here's an example. I felt awkward doing my job interview. I'm always so awkward. It only takes that one thing. Let me tell you something. You know how little kids, when they get, and sometimes adults, they'll get like their first, E on an assignment or F or whatever it is, wherever you are in the country. Like it's a bad grade and they're like, I'm just so dumb. I must be stupid. I didn't pass the test. But your history says that you gotten B's on all the tests prior to it. So the statement isn't true, but we believe it in our head. So again, it's a you problem when you make a broad interpretation of a single event when there's a lifetime full of events that happen in your life. Sometimes because we do this thing and we paint this picture, it prompts us to, some people, y'all know, adults, kids alike, you'll get depressed if you get a bad grade on the test. It'll take you out. Right? So we got to think about where that comes from, right? This is the healing, right? Why does it affect you and trigger you to the point where you can't even wake up in the morning because that one thing happened, right? Some of y'all will leave a whole relationship because somebody didn't take the trash out. Y'all will catastrophize and overgeneralize a single event and not look at the body of work. And I pause when I pause, that's for y'all to think a little bit. Because this, if not you, tonight, it's going to be somebody you close to or been in a relationship or you in a relationship with now, and it could very well be you, right? And it's because we're human. The next term, magical thinking. The belief that thoughts, actions, and emotions influence unrelated situations. If I hadn't hoped for something bad, if I hadn't hoped something bad would happen to him, he wouldn't have gotten into an accident. You see how these terms are about you being the problem, but it's over exaggerated because sometimes you are the problem. But we put this blame on ourselves to the point where it's unhealthy, right? So it's a distorted view of the actual truth because in this situation, accidents happen, right? But we'll say to ourselves, because I hoped that something bad would happen, that the accident happened because of me. Now, I'm going to pause here because I know some of you guys is like, yeah, well, that's karma. But, so I don't want to get into the spiritual religious space because I know how y'all are. So just breathe for a minute. Just because you said one day, I hope something happened to him, and then a week later, he gets in an accident, or she, scientifically, it probably doesn't connect. We're not going to go in the spiritual space, okay? But it's a distortion of reality, relative fact, right? Because we're going to jump off of that one because I know y'all. Don't do it. The next one, this is one that a lot of y'all can identify with. Y'all ready? Jumping to conclusions. Can we sit there for a minute? Interpreting the meaning of a situation with little or no evidence. Put in a 1 in the comments if you ever was that person that always jumped to conclusions and it didn't matter what they said or how they explained it. You just knew that you was right. I don't even need to read these, do I? We live or been in a relationship with somebody who always jumped to conclusions. I know y'all know that one. You couldn't pay them to listen to your truth. It stings when you're in a relationship with somebody that has their mind made up before you open your mouth. And they will ride that thing to the end of the earth, and it won't matter if it's true or false. What they believe in their mind is true. They have the conclusion before they even know what happened. I know y'all know this one. Because I feel it right here in my chest, like right in the middle right here. No information, but got a conclusion. Now think about this, right? Because I'm the healing journey coach, right? Why would one be so quick to rush to a conclusion that may have a negative outcome all the time? It's typically because their lived experience has touched on these certain topics. It had a bad outcome, and they are going to project it onto you. They're going to assume that you're doing the same thing the last person did, even though the information may be wholly different. They're assigning you blame for something that somebody else did in a current relationship, and you can't tell them any difference because it hurt them so much before. So I already know what you're doing. You ain't even got to open your mouth. I know you didn't go to the store to get those Twinkies. It's impossible. It takes 15 minutes to get there and back, and you were gone for 17. I already know you didn't go. You'd be like, but there's stoplights along the way. So what? I know you didn't go there. So it's nothing else need to be said. Did I just pull that from a place? I think I pulled that from somewhere, didn't I? Think about it. If you're one of these type of people that jump to conclusions with no information, again, that's a you problem. Now, you might hit the lottery, you might be right. But with no information, how did you come to the conclusion? It's coming from past experience. It's coming from past relationships, right? So under jumping to conclusions, we have mind reading, which is interpreting the thoughts and beliefs of others without adequate evidence, right? So similar. She wouldn't go out on a date with me. And in my mind, I'm saying, it's probably because she thinks I'm ugly. How many people do that? How many people know people that do this, right? You put in your mind that I'm ugly and that's why. You don't even know why, but you're already making a conclusion so that you have closure on it. They didn't invite me to the party, so maybe they just think I'm a bad person. That's why. They don't like me. Meanwhile, you gave them the wrong email address, right? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, people. Sit down and hear with Coach Derek. My name is Coach Derek, and I am your certified relationship and healing journey coach. And we just having a little fireside chat about how your mind plays tricks on you sometimes, and we got to look at why. Fortune telling is another one under jumping to conclusions. The expectation that a situation will turn out badly without adequate evidence. So it's similar to mind reading. You're projecting out into the future that something is going to be bad, and you don't even have evidence to know that it will be. A lot of us do this, and it's debilitating if you do it all the time, because it's almost like catastrophizing, right? Like seeing the worst possible outcome, and you're looking out into the future and like, you know what? They ain't going to never, they're not going to ever let me be a part of this sorority. So I'm not even going to try because I already know. I won't even apply. Right? In relationships, it sounds like this. 1 second, guys. In relationships, it sounds like this. I already know you're not going to plan a date night. So why don't you just not even do it? I already know you're not going to do it. So you didn't even give him a chance to try, or her. Because you don't have any. Now, if you have someone that never plans a date night, then you may have a valid reason. But we're talking about people who have a history of doing the right thing, and you're catastrophizing it or jumping to conclusions, and you have no evidence that it's true. This, to me, for me, is one of my biggest triggers, is when people make assumptions about me and have no evidence. It will make me, that meme, that Arthur meme with the little fist on the side of pants. He ain't gonna really use it, but the fist is balled up. That be me. So, we're gonna keep going down this list, right? We only have a few more left, and then we're gonna talk about this for a minute. So, the next one is emotional reasoning, and that's the assumptions that emotions reflect the way things really are. So, in my mind, here's an example. I feel like a bad friend, therefore I must be a bad friend. So you take those emotions that you feel and you make it true. You make those negative emotions feel like it's true. I feel like I'm a horrible person, so they probably think I am a horrible person. Or else why would I feel like this? Think about all of these things we're talking about tonight, guys. How, if this is how you think, how would you show up when you go out dating? How would you show up when you first start to go out on dates, be on the phone calls, having the conversations at dinner, and your mind is, well, what would happen? I think he probably thinks I'm ugly. I don't even know why I'm here. He's probably never going to call me back. It becomes your reality when it's not true. Imagine how you should. Some of y'all don't have to imagine. Imagine how you will show up dating, or if you're even in a relationship, and how this thinking could ruin the whole thing. See, some people use these things, these cognitive distortions that they believe is true, as ways to leave. So like self-sabotage. Well, I think that they're probably going to cheat, so I'm just going to leave because one day they probably will. Once upon a time in a land far, far away, I was on a date with a young lady, and we had talked on the phone a few times. She was cool. We went out on a date. Y'all know I got stories. One day we just gonna do a whole live about Derek's story time. And she said to me, "You're too good to be true. Something's gonna happen one day. I just don't know what it is, and I'm afraid to keep talking to you. So I don't know how much longer I can do this because I don't understand why you're so nice to me." Now, people who have followed me will know that that's her trauma showing, right? That's her lack of belief in her own boundaries is showing, right? But in the midst of it, she believes that it's how she protects herself, which means someone that is treating her generally in a good way is scary to her. There's a reason for that. That's the work we do here. That someone treating her decently is a trigger for her to run. So people in the comments, normally when I do these shows, y'all don't type much because y'all be listening, right? Type in the comments what type of attachment style that is. Because I know y'all be listening to me. At least one person's going to tell me which attachment style where she starts to get close and then she runs away when it gets too much. So, we're going to keep moving. See, one day I'm going to quiz y'all like this and then I'm going to give y'all like a prize or something. Yep, there you go. Avoiding attachment style. They're runners. When it get too hot, they got to go because sometimes they feel like it's so too good to be true that they need to just go ahead and run because it's getting a little bit too emotional. Right? So now that y'all been rocking with me, when you hear these scenarios and talk, it should be triggering in you like, wait, avoiding attachment style. Wait. You could parse through these conversations and listen to how they talk, and then you could say, well, maybe I might not want to be in a situation. This person sounds like they're going to run or they're going to do. So this doesn't mean that you don't deal with them, but this understanding helps you understand how you can inform yourself how you may or may not engage them in the future, or it may inform you that you need to leave. This is the work we do here, guys. So, and the people who answered the questions are the people who listen. Cause all of this stuff, if I can go through all of these scenarios and you can pinpoint like what those word choices mean, you'll be a more effective dater. You'll be more effective in relationships because you will be informed earlier than whatever the thing that could happen later. Like you'll understand like, hey, this is someone who runs every time. So I have a decision to make. Like we could talk about that. We could figure out how we're going to work with that, but I may not be able to deal with this forever. Unless that person, is vulnerable enough to share like what we need to do to make sure that they don't keep running without me changing who I am. Remember, without me changing who I am, I'm not going to uproot my whole character just to please you, but maybe we could find somewhere in the middle, or it might be too much for me, especially if we on, 3 weeks and you showing up as a runner. We don't even have any stock. You're still a stranger. So I can leave if I want to, right? So we got 3 more. The next one is disqualifying the positive. And that's recognizing the only the negative aspects of a situation while ignoring the positive. You might receive many compliments on an evaluation, but focus on a single piece of negative feedback, right? And we alluded to this earlier, right? There's a lot of people, and you can lend this into the red flag conversation, where you only see the bad stuff. You're always looking for the bad stuff that you don't see the positive stuff, right? People like this, they're finding a reason to leave before they even get to know the person. Like I have we got to do a story time show. Or even better yet, a Zoom. I think we did this a long time ago, if I recall. But we might need to do that again because it's freeing to talk through these things. But I've had I've had dates that told me that they couldn't deal with me for like stupid stuff. They were trying to find a reason not to, and I was just like, whatever makes you happy, right? Like some people will look for stuff like, you know, the kind of shirt you got on they didn't like, or they didn't like your haircut. So that's why I can't talk to you. It's be crazy stuff. And they'll be like, you're such an amazing person, but I don't like the shoes you had on, so I gotta go. It's just like when you're looking to shop to buy a home, right? And you go in there and you be like, I love everything about this home, but the walls are purple, so I'm not gonna buy it. It's the things that you can change or work on, right? It's the whole house that you love, but you don't like the paint color, so you leave it alone. You don't like the light fixtures, so you roll, but it's the house that you want. It's your dream home. And you're like, nah, I can't deal with the purple walls, so I'm leaving. We do this with people. We leave them because of things that don't have anything to do with how relationships should work or grow. So we got to stop hunting for things to dislike, because you will always find them if that's your goal. You will always, nobody's perfect, so you're going to find something wrong. And you will make that wrong thing your deal breaker. That ain't fair. And then what you'll do is you'll call Coach Derek and say, there ain't nobody good out there. Breathe. It's a lie that you tell yourself. So the next one is called using should statements. It's the belief that things should be a certain way. I should always be perfect is the example, right? I should always be perfect. Sometimes we use these should statements and they're so absolute that it's your mind playing tricks on you, right? You should always be perfect when if there's no such thing as perfect, then it's kind of a lie, right? Like you can't achieve that, right? I should be able to find my husband before the end of July. You should, but I don't go outside, so the probability is very low because you don't have human contact. So you have to be careful about the words that come out of our mouth. Right? So that lends itself into this last one that I'm going to do. It's called all or nothing thinking. This is another one of my pet peeves. Thinking in absolutes. Y'all know how I feel about absolute statements and absolute words. It makes the hair stand on my arm. And y'all know that when you use these statements, it's impossible for them to be true. And it bothers the hell out of me. That's why I try my best not to use them. But these words that I'm about to say are triggers for me. All or nothing thinking is when you use it, you think in absolutes such as always, never, or every. I never do a good enough job on anything. My mind be going places when people use these words. Because I'd be like, wait, we've been together for 3 years. You just said I never do anything good? Never? You always forget the trash. In 3 years, that means I never took it out from the day we met. That's a lie. It's not true. My little fist be bald. Not to use it. It just be on the side of my pants. It be right on the side. It be balled up. Because I'd be like, what? Impossible. And when you are, let me tell you who these absolutes sting the worst for. Empaths, people pleasers, and fixers. We do so much. How dare you say never? Oh, it stings. It stings just saying it. You when I'm overdoing stuff to make you happy, and then you say you never do nothing for me. Oh, we gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a problem. But we won't. You know why? Because the empath and the people pleaser and the fixer ain't gonna stand up for themselves. They're gonna just try to fix it. We might have to do that show again. And there starts your spiral of terror. You create a jail for yourself. You don't advocate for yourself, right? Let me take these notes down because we gonna finish with these. We ain't gonna stay the whole hour this week, but I do want to let you guys know what's coming up, and what I also will do for you guys tonight, because this week, tonight I'll take a couple of general relationship related questions in the comments. So the floor is yours to type the questions out or not. So I'm going to tell you what's coming up with Relationship Gumbo. Yeah, I'm a text you, Boogie. I will talk about what's coming up with Relationship Gumbo, and then in the meantime, I need for you guys to type a couple questions to your coach, and we'll get them in. So this week we have tonight's show. On Thursday, the people. Okay. Let me start all over again. So we have Sit Down and Heal with Coach Derek. Yeah, it's coming. It's already. Yeah. It's already up. So you have Sit Down and Heal with Coach Derek, the live show on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. every week. So this originates on TikTok, and then it gets uploaded to YouTube for the replay. So just give me like 24 hours to do that. So last week's and this week's will go up together because last week's is behind. So when you hear all of this stuff and you're like, dang, where's the replay? I'm making it the replay on YouTube. So the link for that in the YouTube is already on my page, but they're just not there yet. So just give me a day, but the link is there because you'll look for this logo here, Sit Down and Heal with Coach Derek, the live show, and then you click that and it's going to give you an option to go to the YouTube. So just, it's there. Then my online free coaching community's name is going to match the show name. So the online coaching community is called the Sit Down and Heal Coaching Community. It is free for you to join. You click the link in the bio and you'll see the link for you to join it. You create a very small profile, and when you go in there, you'll see all of the stuff that we do. The people who join this free group will get a free Q&A this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. So the only way for you to get the Zoom link is to join the Sit Down and Heal Coaching Community, and then go in there and look for the banner for the Zoom. You'll get the link and you can come in there. So we're picking that back up, guys. I know you guys missed it a lot because it hasn't been going, because I've been doing a whole lot of stuff and doing a lot of interviews and public speaking and things like that. So we're going to bring that back this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Monday next week, I believe it's the 29th, the next workshop is there for you guys to purchase your seat. Now, this workshop is something that most of the people that I talk to need, except for Boogie because she's a graduate. But am I ready to date again? Okay, I'm going to say this really slowly. The title of the workshop is, Am I Ready to Date Again? These are for people who need to check off a checklist to make sure that they should be outside, that they are ready to date again. If you haven't dated in a while, I'm going to help you understand whether you're prepared or not. I do have another workshop that's called Am I Really Ready to Date? But this will be the upgraded version. This will be the version that's really going to hunker down on the things that you need to have checked off before you go back outside, because a lot of y'all don't even, when you get coached by me, I'll tell you, you cannot date yet. You do not go outside, and y'all get mad at me and y'all still do it, and then you come back. So let me help you. So this workshop is going to be extremely powerful because we're going to go through all of the things to prepare you to go back outside. Meaning, if you need to heal, if you need to work on boundaries, I have separate workshops for these, but this is going to operate almost like a primer for you to go through and check off whether you've done these things or you've achieved these things. Now, the workshop that will follow this, I will put a date on it, is going to be once you have this proverbial checklist handled. And we're going to do, y'all know my workshops are not like short, and they're very informative. So you're going to get a lot in the preparation stage. The following workshop after that is going to be about the dating tools that you need in your toolbox once you are outside. So before outside first, and then after outside second. So they're going to companion each other. Y'all going to need both of them. It's not free, but it shouldn't be. So go on the website. The banner's already up there on the first page, and go ahead and get your seat. Now, I am probably going to limit how many people can come to these things, because a smaller group, I'll be able to kind of field your questions and all of these things. But right now it's open. If I do close it up to, I would say between 10 and 15 people, it's because I keep the group small. You can always get the replay after it's done, 24 hours after it's done. So you can still pay for the replay in advance and just get it later, or get it after the date, and it'll be there forever. So don't worry about it if you miss it or if the date doesn't work. But it's there. So the workshop is there. The Q&A this Thursday is there. You're here tonight, so make sure that you follow me on TikTok and click the bell in the profile, and come back every Tuesday, because we have amazing in-depth lives where they're not going to always be serious like this, but y'all need this work. Y'all just don't know it. So go back, check the website. There's some new things that are populated there. New things are being added every week, and just stay tuned. Like, I'm here if you need me. If you feel like you need coaching, inbox me and just say, hey, I don't know what I need, but I know I need something. Whether you know that you need to heal and you don't know how, if you're single and you're trying to figure out, how to get over the fear, right? This next workshop is going to talk to the fear. We're going to talk how you mitigate that fear to go back outside. I can help you with that. It's one of my specialties. So get the workshop, and now some of you guys, life be lifing, right? So now I have, when you check out, you have the ability to spread the payments out through like Affirm and Klarna and all of those things. They're there. So stop rescheduling your healing. I don't know how much easier I can make it. If you got a Cash App account, you can pay through Cash App. Amazon Pay is on there. Affirm, Klarna, direct ACH into your bank account if you don't have a credit card. Like, y'all need to get, I'm doing my best. So y'all going to have to show me your best. The work is here. Yeah, I don't think they're going to ask questions. They ears are wide open right now. They like, yeah, we got to get that workshop. So they probably looking at the website and purchasing their spot. So we're going to go ahead and let them do that, Boogie. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you need me, I'm here, but I can't want it more than you do.
Sit down and heal with Coach Derek.